G'day Gooners. I should probably say it's a great day. What a result we just had against Atletico Madrid. 4-0 to Arsenal at the Emirates. Cal, how are you, my friend?
I'm absolutely buzzing. That's just made my whole day, honestly. We're just talking a bit off camera before, but 4-0, is that what you expected? I mean, we got it completely wrong, to be honest.
Yeah, we're both eating humble pie at this point. We thought it'd be a tight game, which, to be fair, for the first half, I think it was. But yeah, once we turned it on, it was just unbelievable. That I've never heard of a Simeone team conceding 4 goals within 15 minutes. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, they're always known for like their very strong, compact defense, and as soon as we got that first goal, it just the floodgates just opened, and we were just on it today. Um, I
Completely.
I feel like we have to talk about. Let's just get into it. Gyökeres, 2 goals today. What did you make of that performance from him?
Oh, just a relief, really. You saw what it meant to him and to the rest of the players. Their reaction to him sort of celebrating the goals. They were pushing him into the crowd, and yeah, massive, massive. It's great that finally his performances are getting rewarded with the tangibles. I heard him and Henri talking on CBS after the game, and Henri was just sort of praising him and said it's all worth it. And yeah, he was. They were talking about how he's got the number 14 shirt and all that. It was great to see. What did you think of his performance?
I thought it was incredible. Honestly, I was saying even before he got the goals, like if he doesn't score tonight, he's done enough for me, weirdly enough. And then he just added those 2 goals on top of it. I thought he was absolutely incredible. His hold up play, his linking up with the players, the 1-2s that he was doing, he opened so much space for Saka and Martinelli around him. I just thought it was an incredible performance. Like it was already a 9 out of 10 for me before the goals. And he got one. I'm like, finally, there's the goal that he's so needed. And then he just gets another one almost straight after as well.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, it gives him all the confidence that he needs. Let's jump into the game. Um, First 20 minutes, I thought that we were on top. I actually thought we started really well. I thought Eze was receiving the ball in good areas. We were creating chances. I know he had a shot deflected off the bar. Rice sort of didn't really catch the rebound as well as he probably should have. Um, Saka was unbelievable in that first half. I mean, he had Hansco on toast most of the time. And there was another opportunity where Eze played him through. I thought he could have been slightly more clever there, Saka, and sort of chipped it over Oblak and then sort of gone over. Um, but I guess with the luck that we've had recently with decisions, I'm not sure he was trying to test that out. Um, and yeah, Eze felt like first 20 minutes he was gliding. Unfortunately, we didn't see much more of Eze in the rest of the game. I think it was one of more of his quiet games. Um, but but overall, I thought first 20 minutes we did really well. What did you think?
Yeah, first 20 minutes was, I love the passing that we're seeing. It gave me like flashbacks to that 22-23 season. And shout out this to this kid as well. It's one of my favorite kids, the pink one. But yeah, I
Yeah,
was
me
getting
too.
flashes of that season with the way that we're passing. It was just very fluid. I feel like recently it has not been like that. We've had to grind out results, but as soon as I saw us passing like that, I knew that we were on it today. But then,
Yeah,
obviously, after about 20 minutes, Atletico, it seemed like they dropped a bit. They dropped back. It was a bit more compact, and it just got a bit tougher up until half time. And yeah, I guess it was just Simeone just implemented, you know what he's like with those sort of stuff. So yeah, it was a good 20 minutes, and then the last 25 was a bit hard. But then, obviously, in the second half, we completely opened them up after that first goal.
what was your heart saying as soon as you saw David Raya rush out of his goal after 24 minutes to try and honestly, it looked like he was just bored. Like
Yeah,
I don't understand why that ball wasn't in Rosette. He literally gave them pretty much an open goal. I thought we were quite lucky not to be on the receiving end of a silly goalkeeping mistake and to be 1-0 down at the time.
yeah, it was super out of character. I remember when I saw it happen, I was like, "What is it? What is he doing? This is really, really strange, really out of character for Raya." Like off the top of my head, I can't really think of any mistakes from Raya in recent times. Maybe a few, but nothing like that. Yeah, but yeah, I think it was out of just pure boredom. But yeah, he didn't have much to do tonight again, so he's just solid at
Crazy.
the back. Our whole back line is honestly just so solid. They all work together really well. But speaking of the back line, someone I really want to talk about today is Lewis Skelly. What did you think of that performance?
Yeah, I think he was honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I thought in the first half he was quite quiet. I mean, there was nothing necessarily for him to do defensively, pretty much. But I thought he wasn't inverting as much as I would have liked to have seen him invert. I think we spoke on the preview about like a little box midfield, and when I originally was thinking about Lewis Skelly playing in this game, I saw it as a him and Zubimendi double pivot with two attacking tens in front, and we saw it in the second half, and we saw it in probably the best way possible. Um, and yeah, I mean, what the run he did for the goal was just outrageous. Really, it with someone like Lewis Skelly, he's 18, and we often forget how young he really is. For someone to be that mature and to be able to receive the ball in those areas and to be so strong, I think pound for pound, he's probably the strongest player potentially in Europe, definitely for his age. Um, he's just his ability to just drive through the center of teams and create that central progression, which we can go back to because it's something that I've noticed probably over the past couple of years with Arteta's teams. When Odegaard's not really playing and when he's not on it, like the end of last season, we really struggle to break teams down centrally. And to like last night, this morning was no different for us, especially in the first half. And it's a question that I've had for a while. It's not necessarily a worry, but it's a question I'll ask you. Do you think we rely too heavily on free kicks and corners and set pieces in general?
To be honest, I th I th it's a difficult question because obviously a lot of our goals come from these free kicks and corners. But we are talking the other day. If we're good at them, it is part of the game. Like we may as well excel. But I think we shouldn't be worried. I think this game today really showed us that like we can kick into gear, and when we get it done, obviously, imagine if we weren't good at those free kicks and corners, it could have been 0-0 to the rest of the game. That free kick goal actually opened it up for us. So I mean, probably reliant, but I don't like. I'm not someone that likes scoring from corners. Obviously, it's great, but I love tiki taka Arsenal, man. That's my favorite
Yeah.
type of Arsenal. So if we can play like that, and we did show glimpses of that today. I think that would be great moving forward. I really hope that those 4 goals today really contribute further towards that. So,
No, 100%. I think my qualms are only the fact that we needed that first goal to go in before teams come and
mm,
press us.
yeah.
When teams press us, I have no issues. I feel like we're that much better than most teams that if they come try and press us to win the ball back, we can carve through them a lot of times. Like this Atletico team are no joke, by the way. They're a proper good side. They just turned over Real Madrid 5-2 the other week. So they're a proper good side. But it seems like we are consistently relying on those set pieces to break deadlocks. And that's my worry. Is it possibly because we're missing the Odegaards, the Havertzes, the Maduekes, those types of players? Potentially, but you're always going to have injuries through a season. So I would say if I had one bit of negative feedback from this game, which is very difficult to have considering the result, it would be just the lack of ability to break deadlocks through open play chances and creating big chances. Like I look at City, and they often also play against low blocks. I mean, they're also a side that loves to keep the ball. The amount of times I see Haaland have chances, like big chances, you can't even compare that to the lack of chances that a Gyökeres gets in good positions. So my question is like, why is that? And I guess what can we change for that to happen? And to be honest, I probably answered my own question. As soon as Odegaard comes back, maybe that is sorted out. Let's move on. Let's move on to our first goal, which obviously did come from a set piece. Declan Rice, by the way. He must be the best set piece taker in the world at the moment. What a ball that was. And what a great header by Gabriel, who's just ridiculous in the air.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that ball and just the trajectory of it, I knew it was going in. Like
Yeah.
we seem to always, Declan Rice just has something about those free kicks where they just look dangerous. It's not
Yeah.
floating, it's not drilled in too hard. They're just so perfect. And as soon as I saw Gabriel going for it as well, it's a goal every single time. Um, really happy with that. I know it's a set piece, but like you just take it though. You know what I mean? Like if we can get these goals, you just take them. We have the best set piece taker in Europe. Let's use them. You know what I mean? We've got to use
100%.
use this to our advantage.
My dad always told me when I was playing to just I used to take set pieces as well. Just put the ball in a dangerous area between the penalty spot and the goal
Yeah.
and whip it with pace. And usually, because that ball was so good by Rice that if Gabriel didn't header it,
Yeah,
I think
probably
the
would
ball
have
was
gone
going in
in.
anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so as well. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what the
So
commentators are saying.
100%. So they just hit the danger zone and he just does it time and time again. And that, as we said, broke the deadlock, opened the floodgates, and sort of led to the second goal. I mean, what I will say is in between, I thought Julian Alvarez had a great game today on thinking about the Atletico side of things. And he hit the bar. He just looked very, very dangerous all game in the first half. I'm pretty sure he sort of went for a run and Gabriel sort of didn't stop him and then Saliba stopped him. Couple words for Julian Alvarez. What do you reckon?
I mean, I think you covered it there, but I think he was okay. There's not much he really could have done with the way that his
Yeah,
team played, but I think he was pretty solid to do that, pretty much with no service. So, but I think our defense was just too strong, to be honest.
yeah. Oh, 100%. And it often is. So when they only have one or two players who are firing, it's very difficult to break down such a resolute defense. I mean, I saw a stat this morning that was like we've had 9 home games in the group stages of the Champions League since Arteta's got us back in the Champions League. Not only have we won all those games, we've also scored 26 and we've conceded
Oh,
none.
that's
Conceded
insane.
zero.
That's
Yeah, which
crazy.
is it's unbelievable, really, when you think about it. We've not conceded a goal at home in the group stages of the Champions League the last three and a bit seasons. It's ridiculous. Um,
And that's
let's
actually
move on
something
to
that's just one thing. That's actually something we touched on last time as well. If we're not conceding, all we need is one goal. We'll
yeah,
win the game.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Is that every time we score, I always feel just far more safe because I just don't think we're going to concede. Um, the second goal, we sort of briefly touched on Lewis Skelly. Unbelievable goal, right? Unbelievable
That
goal.
finish.
Oh, brilliant. It was Henri-esque.
Martinelli is back. And that's actually something I wanted to bring up today. I think he's back. I love Martinelli. Do you
Oh, what,
think
what?
do you think from this moment he should be our starting left winger?
No, I don't. I think that Martinelli loves open spaces. And as soon as we go 1-0 up, as we've said quite a few times now, that teams want to come press us. So those spaces become bigger. He becomes more of a threat, which is, I think, the reason that Mikel's been utilizing him as a substitute later on in games when usually we've scored a goal or the teams' defensive lines are higher up, right? So the space in behind. I do think he had a great game today. And that's something that we haven't really been able to say from his part over the last year and a half, really. I mean, he's had a few good cameos off the bench against Man City and a few other games this season as well. Um, but today, his overall game was very good. And something that I want to reiterate is that I personally think the reason that his game was so good is because we often got him centrally. And I remember you asking me a question if I would play Martinelli as a striker, and I said
Mm.
no, but I would love to get him in central situations more often because he's so dangerous in those areas. I don't particularly like him when he's hugging the touchline. He jinks the ball from one foot to the other and sort of tries to tempt in a tackle to go past him, but he's kind of predictable. But when you get him in those central areas, he can be devastating. And today he really, really was. So fair play to him. What did you think of his performance?
I think he had a really good all-round performance. I think even before the goal, he
Yeah,
looked like he was playing with confidence, which I think is something that Martinelli has lacked for the last year and a half, as you mentioned. So I think all round that is a good game for him and his confidence going forward. He's had a great last month. I mean, he was our player of the month last month, I believe.
yeah,
Um, Personally, it is tough because you are right. He is, as Arteta would call him, like a finisher. And I use that role. I don't know what you think of Arteta calling these players finishers, but do you think maybe Eze should play left wing on the weekend? I know we'll get into that later, but I just think if Martinelli's confidence is really high, he's got to keep going, right?
Well, I think there's a few things to unpack here. I think that competition within squads is always a good thing. I mean, you see Trossard on the back of not a brilliant game, scores the winner against Fulham. And for someone like Martinelli, that means when I get my chance, I need to perform. And he did today. And that's the same with Lewis Skelly. Calafiori's been one of our best players. We conceded 3 goals this season in the Premier League, and he's been absolute quality as well, Calafiori. Miles comes in. Miles knows he needs to perform at a top level. He performs at a top level, gives the manager a headache, a good headache. Now, I think when our squad is fully fit, I see Eze playing as a left winger with Odegaard playing more centrally. We don't have that luxury at the minute. So it seems like Arteta is going to pursue with Eze playing as a number 10. If that's the case, the fight is between Trossard and Martinelli. So I think in terms of Palace, we'll come to it later. It really depends on the opposition. It depends on what the game's going to allow. It's at home. So at this stage, I actually don't know what I would go with. You'll have to quiz me later on in the pod when I have to give you an answer. Can we please talk about Zubimendi? I mean, this guy's come in from Sociedad for 50 odd million pounds, a lot of pressure. Rodri, the next heir to Rodri for Spain, and he's slotted in like a glove. It's underrated. I think he's been underrated and sort of he's gone quite under the radar in terms of new signings in the Premier League this year. He was unbelievable today. Like, what I love about him is his cadence. And what I mean by that is the tempo. He feels the game so well. He knows exactly what the game is asking of him. He knows when to play a short pass. He knows when to play a long pass. He can play with his left. He can play with his right. He can go in between the centre-backs and help when we play out. He can check in and check out with Rice to beat the press. He knows when to play long. He's clipped a few balls in behind. I know he clipped one into Timber, who won a penalty. He clipped one in. I'm pretty sure he clipped a ball against Newcastle that Timber headed and Pope saved. A lovely little flick as well today for Gyökeres, who got on the end of it, but nothing really happened. And today, the ball that he played in for, was it Martinelli for our third goal? He played the ball, he clipped the ball over with his left foot into Martinelli, who then crossed the ball. Oh, just what a beautiful footballer.
He's just like, as you mentioned, he's probably our own version of Rodri. Better than Rodri. Let's just do it. Let's piss off some Man City fans. Come on, let's do it. But I think Zubimendi, he's been underrated. When he came in, I was probably calling him like the most underrated signing that we've got this season. I know he came in for slightly big money, but obviously playing against the Spanish teams, he probably will be better because he's played against these teams before. He knows what they're about, and he's going to dominate these midfields. I know you mentioned that you wanted to start Marino for that reason because there's the Spanish teams. But the way he just dictates the game, as you mentioned, short, long passes, it's just incredible. Like every time he has the ball, I'm never worried about it.
Yeah.
Even when someone's right on and pressing, the way he just 1-2s with Rice, and it's just so calm and composed. I love him, to be honest.
And I think he helps those around him in terms of that composure. Even I refer back to the first 20, 30 minutes at Liverpool at Anfield. I didn't feel worried that we were going to sort of get pickpocketed in those areas when we were trying to play out. Like, he's just so calm. And today, I'll read a few stats out for him. Zubimendi, 100% dribbles completed, 100% cross accuracy, 46 passes attempted, 41 passes completed, 4 ground duels won, 3 key passes, 3 clearances, 2 interceptions, 2 recoveries, 2 tackles, 1 big chance created.
I mean, wasn't even man of the match as well.
Yeah, if that's not a top midfield performance, I don't know what is. I mean, what a player we have on our hands.
It was incredible. I think the whole team, honestly, was good. What did you think of Eze's performance? I thought he looked a bit out of place compared to the rest of our team today. Like he was okay, but compared to what everyone else did, I think he was a bit lackluster.
Yeah, and I thought first 20 minutes he was pretty bright. He was there creating, buzzing around. I always like with creative players just to be buzzing around, even if you're not particularly doing anything, just always want the ball, always be an option. And first 20 minutes, I think he was doing that. I think with Eze, you get someone who's used to playing teams in a certain way. I know I've mentioned it, on previous podcasts. But at Arsenal, it's a different game almost. And he seems like he thinks he's got far much more time on the ball than he does. I'm not sure if it's just his sort of style, but things have to be done a little bit more quickly and sharply. Um, yeah, frustrating for him because I
Mm.
know he really, really wants to do well. You can tell he's a big Arsenal fan and he wants to impress. I just think that potentially we might see the best of him when he's playing out on the left hand side and he has the service of a Martin Odegaard and I don't know a Calafiori and a Rice next to him. That's what I think. I think he needs the support. I'm not sure he can just do it all on his own. Um, the second half. Now, obviously, we went in 0-0, scored the first 2 goals, scored the first 3 goals. About 5 minutes later, another set piece, another Gabriel assist, another goal for Gyökeres. Comes
We
away
just
with a brace and a top performance.
we just had to get another corner goal, didn't we?
Yeah, had to.
It's inevitable. But so I think something we both want to touch on is we gave our predictions. I believe mine was 2-1 to Arsenal. What was yours?
Mine was 2-0 to Arsenal. So I went with a
0 to
clean
Arsenal.
sheet.
And
Yeah.
me and George, after we finished recording, for some reason we both just kind of had. I mean, I had it for some reason. I had this weird vibe. I'll put the messages up on the screen as well. But I had this weird vibe that we'd just go and batter them. And then
Yeah.
you said, what was your message again? You said, imagine we go and beat
Something.
them 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0, I think I
Yeah,
said.
and as soon as it
Unbelievable.
got to 4, I was like, we need one more. I need that message too, right? Like that would be perfect. But I don't know. There was just something in the air, I think. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it was just incredible. But yeah, I really hope that we do that more often this season. We didn't see it in the Fulham game. We got the goal, but it didn't open up. So I'm
Yeah,
really
that's
glad it
true.
did today. But I feel like that's if we cast our mind backs to the back end of the 23-24 season when we're scoring a lot of goals, is very similar to that.
Yeah.
How would break the deadlock and then it would just be free flowing and we just keep scoring. And I think that would be really important for just little things like goal difference as well and just the whole confidence of the team. If we're scoring, we're gonna smash the league, man. I reckon.
Let's not talk. It's been 8 games. We can't be talking
No,
so
but
early.
I'm just saying that like that. I feel like that result is really important for just our season because obviously
Oh,
there's been a lot of criticism about relying on corners too much, and I know the first goal came from a free kick, but I mean the first goal came from a corner against Fulham, and we didn't score after that. I know I just said that, but you know what I mean, man.
yeah, no, 100%. I really hear that. I think that confidence in football and in all sports is super important. Um, the confidence that they will get from this game. I mean, we said it previously, like Atletico are a very, very good side. Like, this is not like the 2023-24 season and we're putting 6 past West Ham and 6 past Sheffield United. This is a big European night at the
Yeah,
Emirates. Like, this is a big deal. And they did it last year against Real Madrid. And they've done it already against a Simeone team who barely concede that many goals. So they need to kick on. This needs to be the start of a long run, I think. Um, yeah, it has to be. It has to be really. I mean, we're looking at City, who are 3 points behind us in the Premier League. We're looking top of the Champions League, so we are in a very, very good spot. And credit has to go to the playing staff and Arteta. I mean, a lot of people, I wasn't one of them, but a lot of people were putting a lot of pressure on Arteta at the end of last season. And you know what? Rightly so. We've come second 3 years in a row. We haven't won anything in 6 years. So that need for something tangible is super important. And however you may feel about the manager, you've got to say, you've got to be on side at this point of the season. You have to be. There's not much more that he could have done with the squad that he had in terms of the injuries we've picked up and the fixtures that we've had. We haven't had easy fixtures at all. And to be in the situation that we're in at the moment is brilliant.
exactly right. I think that this could be. I think it has to be Arteta's year. I know we mentioned. I believe about a week ago how I think he said if Arteta doesn't win, you'd be fine with that. But for me, I think he has to win something this season. And I think with the personnel and the signings that we've made, 8 signings, all really good squad depth as well. I think it could be. But just looking ahead, Crystal Palace, how are you feeling about that game?
Confident. I mean, Palace are a very, very good side. I would say that we have to go there and win. Well, it's at the Emirates, but we have to win. We have to win the game.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Players have had rest. Calafiori didn't play today. He'll play, I assume, against Palace. Probably a conversation that we can have in terms of what you would prefer. Trossard obviously didn't play either. They've got almost a week, 5 days to rest and recover and have that game plan sorted. Palace are a good side. They've, in their last 5, I think, had 2 wins, 2 draws and a loss. Usually playing a 3-4-2-1 formation or a 3-4-3. So they play with the back 3. They've got players who can hurt us. Their wing backs, Munoz and Mitchell, very, very good players. And I think Munoz is already on 2 assists for the season. Obviously, they've got Mateta up top. He scored 5 in his last 8 Premier League games, including a hat-trick last week. Really, really good player. Probably should have scored 4 and won in the game after a beautiful Eddie Nketiah pass. But he fluffed his lines. And Adam Wharton in the middle of the park, who needs to get himself a move to a top club. It wouldn't shock me if he gets one of the best European clubs in the world wanting his signature, because he is so, so good. What would be your predicted lineup for this game?
My lineup. Oh, okay. I think it's hard to. Honestly, don't think I'd make any changes from the Fulham game. I think.
Okay.
I know. I said Martinelli, but I'll put Martinelli in there. I don't know if you. I know you probably don't agree with that. So I'd go Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Eze in the 10, Saka, Gyökeres, and Martinelli. And I think if it's not working for Martinelli, I feel like we have enough quality on the bench anyway. I mean, we can shift Eze onto that side, bring Wanyeri on. We've got Trossard. We've got these players that can come on and make an impact. But what would you go with?
I'd probably tend to agree with you. The reason being, now that I've thought about it a little bit more, they play with a back 3. So the spaces are really going to be in transition when their wing backs are pushed forward. So there is probably a chance for I don't know, fast transition and players in behind. Although, because it's at the Emirates, it sort of makes me think that back 3 will be a back 5. So maybe a player who plays more on the inside, like Trossard, and is sort of neater at keeping the football, could be more of an appropriate option. You know what? Any one of them I'd be happy with. I wouldn't really mind. Again, I wouldn't be against playing a Wanyeri as a 10 and Eze on the wing. Again, because of their, I expect, low mid-block. I'd like a player who's more natural on the inside, on the right inside, if that makes sense, on the right half space. And because Ethan's left-footed, it makes sense really for him to play in that role. But I trust the manager, if I'm being completely honest. I trust the manager to get it right. He has pretty much for the whole season, maybe withstanding the team selection for Anfield. Can we please just go back slightly and talk about, I mean, I could talk about all of the players because the performances were that good. But particularly, I want to talk about Yuri and Timber.
He's incredible.
I mean, it could possibly be the best right back in the world at the moment. I mean, you're looking at Hakimi for PSG, but he's more of a wing back. He can do everything, this guy.
And it's crazy to think that he tore his ACL only. I mean, we've seen what happened with Rodri. He hasn't really reached the levels since looking at Timber. You wouldn't even think that he had such a big injury like that only a couple of years ago. I think
it's remarkable.
Yeah, I think he's very similar to Lewis Skelly in terms of the strength that he has. I know he's a little bit older, but the way that they can just shield off these attackers, it's just incredible. And then obviously these passes that he does with Saka as well. You know, those ones where they kind of go in between the lines, ones, the diagonal ones, those sort of balls. Yeah, every time we do those, it opens up so many chances. So I think he's incredible. What do you think of Ben White? Because he did come on in the Atletico Madrid game, but he still doesn't look like he's sort of there yet.
listen, with White, you can't really judge him on that performance. He only played a few
Yeah.
minutes. I think that it's sort of a testament to how good Timber's been. If you'd said to me a year, 2 years ago, maybe that Ben White will be taken out the team on quite a consistent basis for someone else, I would have told you where to go because Ben White was so important for us. We talked about that triangle so many times of him, Odegaard, and Saka just causing absolute havoc to teams, and then being such a big part of all the good things that Mikel's Arsenal does. He just needs minutes. He needs minutes. He needs a little bit of consistency, and he needs to try and get himself back into this team, which is not easy considering how good Timber is. I still think there's definitely a role for him with us because he can play as a centre back, he can play as a right back,
Yeah.
he can even play as a defensive midfield. He has done, I think, for a previous club. But yeah, no, he's still a really good player. I really like Ben White. But no, he's not the same as he was a few years ago. But I think that, to be honest with you, is more to do with the good things that Timber is doing in comparison to the less good things that he's doing. Yeah, do you agree with that? Or
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've also got to mention that he's coming off an injury as well. That sort of on and off injury. So it's going to take a while. But I think what is underrated is that we haven't really seen him play as a centre back much. In his first season, it was him and Gabriel and then Saliba came in. But we have that option if we need it. And yeah, I mean that's just extra depth right there. But just on the Crystal Palace game, should we do some score predictions and get them wrong again, or?
let's do it. Let's do it.
I mean, I hope I'm going to be wrong. I hope it's better than what we expected, just like the Atletico game. For this game, Crystal Palace at home, I'm gonna say 2-0. 2-0, I think.
Another clean sheet. All right, I'll go 3-0. I'll up you one.
Okay.
I'm feeling confident for this game. I think that now that Gyökeres is off the mark properly, I think he's going to start bagging goals.
How many do you think you'll get?
2.
Okay. Who else will score?
Saka.
Right. Of course. I mean, Saka. I know you just tracking back a little bit. You were saying when we don't have Odegaard, we lack that sort of creativity. Do you think Saka has kind of filled that void a little bit?
I think he does in some ways. But when we create chances, usually, if it's not from a set piece without Odegaard, it's usually from wide areas. And Saka, he had his man on toast and he was creating situations by himself. So in that way, yes. But I think you need to be creative in all areas of the pitch. So it seems slightly one-dimensional. The big difference is in previous seasons, especially last season, our left side wasn't firing. So we were relying on Saka totally. Now, Saka creates loads of chances, but as soon as the ball went out to Martinelli, boom, goal. And that makes a whole lot of difference, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I really feel like our left side has gotten a lot stronger this year, and it's great. It's unfortunate that Madueke got injured as well because I feel like he would contribute a lot on that left hand side. Very different sort of player to an Eze or a Martinelli Trossard because he's left footed, so he would be whipping in a few more crosses. So I'm excited for him to be back as well. But yeah, just on the Crystal Palace game, who do you think is sort of their player that we should watch out for? Is anyone we should be worried about, or?
I think the wing backs are probably where I would start. Munoz is, I think, a really, really good player. I think Sarr can cause problems. Mateta is obviously just a bagsman, but I expect Gabriel and Saliba to just be able to handle him because they do that with almost every striker in the world. And I think that we'll win the midfield battle. So although Wharton's a good player, I think that we'll be able to deal with that issue. What about yourself?
Yeah, for me, I think my biggest worry is Mateta. I believe he scored against us last time at the Emirates. I'm pretty sure when he chipped Raya, I believe.
Yeah.
I guess that's the Raya mistake that I was kind of referring to last time. But Mateta, he just seems to be that player that just seems to be in the right place at the right time, and he's fresh off 3 goals. But we've also got Gyökeres fresh off 2 goals, so it's going to be a bit of a battle of the strikers. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Awesome. That's probably quite an appropriate place to leave it for today. Again, to everybody watching, thank you so much for all your support that you've given us over the past week. It's not even been a week. It's been very overwhelming. The comments, the likes, the shares, the subscribes. We really, really appreciate it. So please keep it coming. Share the podcast with one friend who loves Arsenal, and then we double our followers in one strike, which will be absolutely great and appreciated. If you are watching this for the first time, thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to have a good day, Gooners.
Have a good day, Gooners, and keep up the support. We absolutely appreciate it so much. Have a good day, guys.